What's going on, guys? Welcome to Solid Trades. In this video I'm going to be talking about the SPRT. Wow, it went crazy, up over 200% in the last just 2 days, and it's actually up another 50% while I'm actually making this video after market. And I'm going to be discussing this video how to predict this move and actually know what's going on, because this happens every single day in the market, every other day in the market with different stocks. This went up 200%, but other stocks maybe even go 30%, 40%, 50%. They all range differently, but it happens all the time. This is a classic short squeeze pattern that I'm going to be discussing right now. There are a few things that you need to line up all together, and if they all line up, so if all the stars line up, it causes a short squeeze. And we traded it today in the chat, and it was awesome. Alerted multiple times, and I'm going to discuss what I saw and how to actually predict yourself. So alright, so understand this massive short squeeze. We need to understand the price action that happened before, because this has actually been boiling, and the short squeeze doesn't happen right away. It has been boiling for a very long time, and you have to understand that there are small subtleties that what I'm going to show you. The number one thing is that it's actually holding higher lows. So every time the stock goes up, it comes down and holds a higher low, and it's forming this upward trend in the process. So what happens is that whenever the stock goes up, especially a penny stock goes up, short sellers say, oh my god, it was at $3, now it's up 9, 10, let me short it, I'm going to make a lot of money, right? And then it does come down, but then it quickly goes back up again. And then they're like, okay, let me short it again, let me short it up again here, and then it was going to go down, I'm going to make money. But guess what happened? It goes up, and then it goes up again. Then they were like, oh my god, you know what, I hope it's going to come down. But this time it did not even go up all the way, it stayed up, and every time it starts to hold higher lows. What that does is that people who short the stock thinking they're gonna go down, they never get the chance to cover. Now that's what's happening. Now over time, every time it goes up, it comes down, but it doesn't come back down all the way. It starts to go up again, it starts to come back down, it looks like, oh my god, it's gonna fail, but then it starts to hold, and it's forming this again higher lows and trend. Now in this area there have been a lot of people who are caught. So since I've been watching charts for over 5 years now, I've spent over 10,000 hours in it, I can see that even though for most of you, it just looks like, a chart pattern, right? Chart pattern, but I can see emotions. I can see, hey, what's going on? What are people doing on the other side? What mostly people are doing. So I could see it before, and that's why we have been watching it for actually a week now. And we actually caught this move. It was an awesome day. Now, that's being said, this was not even the squeeze. Basically what happens is right after, so instead of going down, now they're all caught, so they're averaging up, averaging down, and hoping that it's going to crash, but it never does. Instead, what it does is that it makes let me show you here quick. It makes this trend, okay? And when it makes this trend, this is a very bullish trend. I talk about this all the time. When the stock breaks, the stock normally pushes. This is the area where all the people who got in, I got in, lots of other buyers got in, and the people who were short, they finally had to cover. Now there's some people who don't cover, and they're like, you know what, I'm going to short on top, eventually it's going to come down, I'm going to cover, it's going to eventually crash. Well, just a penny stock, right? It's going to crash. Well, guess what happened? The biggest thing happened was this. So after that, it formed this U-shaped pattern, which is another very bullish pattern. So a U-shaped pattern is this. It forms this U-shaped pattern. Okay, when it breaks, the stock pushes. Okay, so there's a trend break here. So let's just clean it up again. So there's a trend break here. Okay, at the same time, the U-shaped pattern. At the same time, there are lots of shorts are stuck. What is going to happen? A short squeeze. However, there's one more thing that is very important that caused it. If that wasn't the case, still a short squeeze was not going to be this big. Okay, and that is, there are two things. The number one is this: when it goes up, it tests. You see this test? See this test right here? Okay, it came down, which is this area, also which is this trend break area, right? So this is the test. Finally, one more time, the shorts are getting a final chance to get out. All right, and a lot of them do, and some people don't. The people who don't, they keep adding and adding and adding, or who don't cover, eventually they get blown out. And this is just all short covering. People are just getting, obliterated. Like, that's what's happening. People, their accounts are blowing up and blowing up and blowing up, and you don't want to be on that side. You don't ever want to be adding to your position, averaging down. Okay, and this test was the main reason of short squeeze. However, there's one more thing, which is this area, this empty area, and this is the main reason why there was a huge short squeeze. Why? Because there is no price action, which means when the stock broke out this U-shaped pattern, it went into this no man's land territory where there was no price action before, which means nobody bought the stock at these high prices before because the price was never here, right? So when the stock climbs up and it keeps climbing up, because all stockholders are profitable at this point, right? Anybody who bought the stock here, right? Anybody bought the stock here and it goes up, they're profitable. They're profitable because anybody who is holding here, they're all profitable because they probably bought all the way at the bottom, right? Because they cannot buy here because the stock price was never here, right? Now, what happens is that because of that, if you were in big profits, you're not really in a hurry to sell, right? Because you're just chill, you're just making money, which means there's very less supply of stock available in the market, which increases the demand and makes the stock goes even higher. So there's only there's two kinds of people who are buying right now. People like us who think, okay, my God, it's a short squeeze, so I'm buying. And the people who are getting short squeeze, they're forced to buy because they have to cut their losses, right? They're the one panicking, so they have to buy. So you have to buy at whatever price is available. That makes the stock goes even higher. But the worst part is, since there are no bag holders in the stock because nobody ever bought the stock before, people are not willing to sell. So people are not willing to sell and people are buying. So there's a huge increase in demand, and that's what caused a huge short squeeze. Okay, so people who are panicking are short sellers, and they have to buy ASAP to cut losses. And that's what's going on, guys. That's what's going on in this whole short squeeze. Okay, and that's the most important part, is that there's no sellers and all the stars align at the same time. So there are little things, little subtleties. When all these stars align at the same time, causes a massive short squeeze. Guys, make sure you watch this video again, because this happens all the time. And if you can catch this, guys, this is life changing. All right, guys, so make sure you subscribe if you guys want to see more of these videos, and I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.